Okay. Oh, what's this going on? We got this crazy ass dog running around in the background, eh? Bloody hell. Might want to move some of this shit out of the way actually before I start. Sorry, a bit distracted here. I left my phone outside and I had to go out and look for it. Oh no. Luckily, I have Christine here tonight.
For a change.
Yes. How good's that? I'm not flying solo. I'll actually be able to talk to people in the comments and stuff. Huh. Alright, so hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. Also live stream my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you'd like to get an awesome new PC and you'd like to see it get put together live, send me a message today. Alright, so we're back here again tonight and we're finishing off a case swap upgrade from the other week. So the customer was just waiting for the rest of his parts to arrive. I've actually been, me and Christine have had COVID, so we've been taking it easy the last week. But yeah, feeling a bit better today, so I thought we'd get back onto it and actually get this guy's PC going on. So we'll go through the specs here. So I've got a 4090 down here that's going to be going into the build, so that's why you don't see a graphics card box on the table, but we're putting with it a 9800X 3D, the 8-core 16-thread CPU. We've got a nice new white MSI B850 Edge TI Wi-Fi motherboard. I've never heard of motherboards getting a TI on them before, so this is kind of something new. I think it's just, I don't know, people see that TI and they're like, ooh, like the graphics cards. Because yeah, I mean, the marketing's marketing, right? We've got a massive power supply. Check this thing out. This is the Be Quiet Dark Power Pro 13 power supply, 1600 watt titanium efficiency. So what's up? Hey man, how you going? Good to have you with us. Look at this thing. It's half the size of the freaking computer. Alrighty, so what does it look like inside? Very nicely packaged. So there's our unit, and this will be our cables there in that box. So that looks quite nice. You can live vicariously through this customer's build. You don't actually have to spend the money yourself because, I mean, this isn't cheap. This thing's, I didn't buy it, it's a customer's parts, but 1600 watt titanium, you're probably looking at $600 plus. Could even be more. This case is a little bit dirty. I might quickly go give this a blowout. By me. Okay, that's a bit better. Okay, so look, what else have we got here? We've got some extra fans that are the same as the ones already in the case. We got a nice kit of G-Skill, what do they call this? The Trident Z5 Royal. So this is the one that's got like crystal-y looking things over the RGB at the top of the DIMM. Show them to you. So inside the pack there, you got this nice little cloth for polishing them. So they do have plastic protectors on them. So I'm not griming them up with my fingers. We got a Samsung 990 Pro, 4 terabytes. This is another very expensive part right here, 4 terabyte SSD. So you do generally pay more for a 4 terabyte SSD than a 2 terabyte or a 1 terabyte in terms of per terabyte. You're paying for the privilege of having 4 terabytes on the one stick. So our cooler here, we've got an Arctic Liquid Freezer 3. This is quite a good cooler. We don't usually use too much Arctic branded stuff here at Tim's PC, just because it's not available here in the state. I have to get it shipped up from Melbourne, so that's always a bit of a pain in the ass. I prefer to deal with like local suppliers and stuff. It just makes everything a lot simpler when it comes to warranties and stuff like that. Then, you know, I'm not chasing up companies out of state. So, all right, let's get stuck right into it. So I'll get Christine to share the image share screen. That is our board. It's quite a nice looking board there. What do we get in the box there? Is that a cheap front panel connector thing? Is it, or is that a USB extender? I think it's a USB extender. We've got a 3-pin clip to 3-pin RGB cable, some SATA cables. And what have we got here? Oh, okay. No. I don't even recognize the connector on the end of this cable. Interesting. Might have to look that up.
Some Go Fast stickers.
Yeah, some Go Faster stickers there, some Lucky ones. Lucky's the MSI Dragon mascot, if you're unfamiliar. This guy here. Alrighty. So I dare say we're going to see a lot more boards going forward that have a white PCB just like this. So
I like that.
yeah, Christine likes white, so she's going to be very happy with this. So look, let's have a look at what this board has to offer. I'll point out all of the main features so you can follow along on the image on the screen there. So starting up on the top left hand corner from your perspective, we have two 8-pin CPU power connectors there. We have these really nice solid heat sinks there on our MOSFET and VRM. Very, very important. Ugh. No. It's just sticky crap everywhere on this. It's like, does that come off?
Don't break it.
No. So it looks like you can take that off somehow.
Just leave
Yeah, I know. Look up a video. It might be as simple as it just pops off. Just apply a bit of pressure, but I don't want to break it. In the middle there, we've got our AM5 socket, obviously. Fan headers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Very good. Full 8. Got our
There's one underneath there.
no, that's not CP. That's not a fan header. That's a TPM header. RGB headers. We have 3 5-volt and 0 12-volt. Okay, there's that header. There's a header here. It says EasyCon 4. Anyone ever heard of that? It's something new. We might have to. We'll definitely install the cable and sort of see what's going on there with that.
On 4.
Yeah, EasyCon. What's it say?
Oh, Easy Connect debug LED feature, which helps with troubleshooting.
No, that's not right. No. I'll have to have a look at that one. That's kind of interesting. It's got me stumped. It's new. Oh, look at this. Very, very nice. Around the back here, we have USB-C, 4 SATA ports, dual USB 3s on this board. So that's quite good. At the bottom here, we've got our front panel connector. We've got a speaker header, 2 USB 2s, auxiliary PCIe power there. We got a couple of debug headers there. Clear CMOS. Clear CMOS is over there. Oh, we do have a 12-volt RGB, and obviously front panel audio. We got 4 M2 slots there in the middle. We have a PCIe X16, a PCIe X1, and a PCIe X4. And then the back there for the rear I/O, we've actually got 3 USB-Cs, and we've got a total of 7 additional USBs, including 4 USB 2s, the rest USB 3s. We got SPIDIF out. We have Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth. Is it Bluetooth 5 or 6? Are we in generation 6 of Bluetooth yet? Not sure. I'd have to look that one up. Got a 5 gigabit LAN port. Good luck utilizing that one in Australia. So yeah, pretty good board. Let's jump right into it. So yeah, it does suck. 50 series, yeah, hasn't really been the most popular series of NVIDIA card, put it that way. However, there is some decent Radeon cards out there these days. think they'll just keep improving and taking little bits of market share off Nvidia the way that it's going. This is a Gen 4, isn't it? Yeah, it's a Gen 4. So the top slot there is Gen 5. So if you've got this board and you don't have a Gen 5 SSD, I don't recommend you use that port. It'll work fine, but it's your only Gen 5 slot. So if you do get a Gen 5 SSD, it will mean you have to take that other one out and reinstall that to put the Gen 5 in that top slot. So I never put a drive in that top slot unless it is a Gen 5. Always remember to take the sticky off your thermal padding there. It's quite a good board, eh? I really like this. He's chosen well.
Tim?
Yeah.
Medium says that was a 9950 X3D, right? Not 9800 X3D.
Oh, it is too. It is too. Sorry, I never bother buying the bigger ones. So yeah, it is a 9950 X3D. That's what happens when you don't buy the parts. You forget. Okay. Cooler time. Pre-mounted fans, I guess that's a good thing. What's up?
Oh, the customers, Meridian and James. He's like, you had me sweating is all.
No. You ordered them. You would have seen it. You would have seen it.
Tim?
I just make a mistake because the boxes look pretty much identical.
Tim?
Yeah.
Nick says, yo, what's going on? Long time.
Hey man, how you going?
You moved from Facebook to YouTube and I don't see much of you anymore.
Yeah. No, I get more engagement with YouTube, and I think they don't like your multi-streaming. You get like disadvantaged in the algorithm from multi-streaming, I find. So yeah, I just decided I'll just stream on YouTube. So yeah.
Michael has a question. He goes, I have a MSI 1300 PSU. I want to use the 600 watt cable from it with my 4080s. It has Only 2 split ends, so will it be fine?
2 split ends? What do you mean by 2 split
He
ends?
didn't look here. He said they have an MSI 1300 PSU. They want to use a 600 watt cable from it with 4080s. It has only 2 split ends though. Will it be fine?
What specifically do you mean by split ends? I just want to make sure we're on the same level here.
Probably like this.
You're not referring to something like this, are you? Because I don't recommend you use any of these things. I recommend you buy a new power supply or install an upgraded cable direct from the PCIe slots on appropriate power supplies where you can upgrade the cables. Like there's some, I think there's some Corsair ones. Yeah, absolutely not. You do not mix and match cables for modular power supplies. Okay. So we've got to plug in a cable there to our block. So as you can see here, the block has a cover. The cover goes on at the end. You screw the block down, and I'm pretty sure will that. Now that's LGA, LGA 1700 1851. So am I missing something? I'm just looking for an AM4 bracket, an AM5/AM4 bracket. Oh yeah, here we go. Sorry, I didn't see these 2 bars sitting there.
Royal Trident sticks.
Yeah, the Trident's got the crystal top.
I've been thinking of changing to them for my computer.
Oh, really? So which way around does it go? Does it go?
Depending on how they look, I might actually upgrade.
Yeah, I mean they're good. They're good. Like I mean I've used them before. This isn't the first generation that they've been a thing.
No. You've done one with the gold, but I don't think you've done one with the silver one.
No, I don't think I've done a silver one.
I really like that silver. So.
Or is it, I don't think it's really silver, it's probably more like platinum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The person that asked that question about power supply before,
Yep.
they've reiterated the NVIDIA adapter I was using for 8 months has 3 PCI cables, but the 600-watt cable with my power supply only has 2 PCI cables. Just trying to manage a bit.
Oh, okay, okay.
Paranoid.
Yeah, no. These things here, don't use them. The reason why it will have more connectors is for use with power supplies with different configurations inside that would where too much wattage would be going over those cables. However, you don't have to worry about that if you get a cable that's rated for your power supply that plugs directly into the power supply. It's not going through one of these, okay? I only like to use them on, you know, the most powerful cards. So yeah, for you, you've got a 1300-watt power supply, and if you've bought the actual cable from MSI for that power supply that's got the 12+4 on the end, if it's just 2 that plugs into the power supply, that's fine. It's what it's rated for. Yeah. You don't have to worry about that, basically. Why is that not making contact?
Because you're doing it wrong.
Obviously. Forgot to take the freaking sticky off though. What a noob. But that was what we got with it though. So do these go upside down from how I've got them? Yeah.
Damon says, hey, how's it going?
Hey Damon, how you going? Good to have you with us. It must be. These brackets really look like they should be the other way though. But that's the thing, that's the size of the little standoff things. So it's gotta fit. A little bit of extra taste. Oh, look at that. What do you know? What do you know? It was upside down. But seriously, I swear it frickin' didn't look like it should be like that.
Nah. Danny says I'm pretty well. I got COVID since last week, Thursday to Monday.
Oh.
Weekend. I came back negative.
Yep.
Sorry.
That's been us. We've had COVID all week.
Mm-hmm. It's doing the rounds. Oh, Damon's on his last school holidays. He finishes year 12 in September.
Oh, true.
Oh, you won't know yourself. I work with a young fella who finished up last year, and he tells me how bored he gets when he's not at work.
Alrighty, it's making good contact. And now okay, that is all sorted. So now we can turn our attention to the case. Alright, so we're not using any of these fans, because we can't have fans on the bottom because we've got that riser cable. Hopefully it's a Gen 4 riser cable, not a Gen 3. So if it's Gen 3 on this new motherboard, I don't know how that's going to go. can I get some paper towel and some isopropyl alcohol? It's a bit dirty. The dust blower, leaf blower I should say, couldn't blow away.
It's like I've seen a new bottle around somewhere. Where did I see it? Yeah.
Oh, cool. If you're wondering what I'm spraying, this is 100% pure isopropyl alcohol. And isopropyl alcohol you can use on electronics. It's not water. It does not cause rust or anything like that. It might look like a clear liquid, but lots of chemicals are clear liquids at room temperature. Just try not to inhale too much of it because it is quite toxic. Yeah.
Customer James, he says I got that cable when I got that cable right after I got my 4090. After I found out that I couldn't fit my side cover on with that card. I'm 99% sure it was a PCIe 4.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, if it's 4 it shouldn't be a problem. Just sometimes when you try use the 3s, it should technically work, but sometimes there's fucking problems with it. I've seen lots of shit, so I'm just like, oh no, what if the same thing happens?
Cool name. Smorgasbord. It says amazing specs, just as good aesthetics.
Yeah, it's just a shame we don't have reverse fans here because we're gonna have to put these on. We have to put these on upside down. Okay, so how are we gonna do this without it looking shit? I guess we're just gonna have to go. We're just gonna have to go straight up underneath. Yeah, okay. Alright. Yep, that'll be fine. So little pet peeve for me is frickin' seeing small, thin cables sticking out on the front side of the motherboard. Now I'm not one to use shitloads of cable ties and all that kind of gear. I prefer to use as few cable ties as possible because it's easier to work on. You know, if use lots of cable ties, you run the risk of cutting a cable, and obviously, yeah, that can be a pretty big deal. But it's also just as simple as fans. Fans die. They're mechanical parts. Some of them wear out faster than others. You want to be able to simply replace a fan without it being a 45-minute ordeal where you've got to cut out 50 cable ties and then change your fan, then go and redo 50 cable ties. It's a pain in the ass. A lot of people will go and spend hours manicuring and doing all this shit with their cables. Oh, it's around the fucking wrong way. They'll do it once, and then as soon as they have a problem and they've got to cut it all out, they'll be like, yeah, fuck that. Yeah, so these fans on the side here have to be the cool air intake because there's none on the bottom. So as you know, if you've watched my builds a lot, you know that I prefer to have the cool air coming in from the bottom, just so it like blows cool air directly on your graphics card. To me, that sort of makes sense. Yeah.
Someone says, Saf says, hello, my sister wants a 300 USD gaming PC. I told her a budget of 500 to a grand would get her more reliable and future-proof PC, and
Yeah.
such a low budget PC isn't worth.
Yeah, if you wanted to spend 300 US, you're gonna be getting something pretty average. Like, let's be real. That's about as cheap as a gaming PC gets without it being a complete joke, if you know what I mean. So when I say a complete joke, I'd be talking about, you know, a system from, you know, 12 years ago, right? And that might be fine if you just want to play Warcraft and Command and Conquer and The Sims and things like that. But usually when people say that they want a gaming PC or they intend to buy a gaming PC, normally they're talking about games like, you know, Fortnite, Call of Duty, etc. But yeah, you can sometimes find some good stuff secondhand, but the problem is if you don't know what you're looking for and you know, and the person won't let you test it, then obviously that's a bit of a risk. Yeah. Hey man, how you going? Good to have you with us. Now I'm just doing my thing. I've had COVID all week, so that's been fun. Okay, so as you can see there, the cables are just coming straight out the back. I've left just enough room between the fans to run the cables directly out the back there. And finally, the last one. Okay. So there, as you can see, you can't see any of those white spindly cables sort of sticking out there from those fans. It's all going directly out the back of the case. So if you're building a Lian Li case like this, I highly recommend you do this. If you've got your fans here in the exhaust position, not the intake position, you can just get the cables and unthread them from these plastic guides, and then they just stick straight out the back. But these fans here are cool intake fans, so they have to be around the back there. So that's why I've just done them like this. So that'll make your whole rig just look a million times cleaner when you've finished it, without seeing these little white cables going through there. Like I said, I do everything I can to minimize the number of thin cables that you can see at the front. Alrighty. You don't have to do anything with these fans. It's all powered through these cables here off the block. So that's kind of cool. Makes life a little bit easier. Okay, so look, let's get this actually in the case. I think we might have to remove that side mount bracket. Yeah.
Okay, well, so do you think as of now, the current market for PCs, if someone can spend 5k USD for a build and have it last for 10 years from now?
It's really hard to say, but you know, it depends what sort of gamer you are, really. If you're a competitive FPS player and you know you take it pretty seriously, then obviously you're going to want to keep up with the tech. Okay, tech moves pretty fast. You're going to want to stay on top of your game for that. But for a lot of people, you don't really need that. So you know, for more average people who play, you know, who don't play games competitively, you know, you can expect to get 5 to 8 years out of a gaming PC that you purchased new in 2025. And that's been the case for probably the last 20 or so years. Alright? But like I said, we never know what the future holds, and obviously certain people who are really serious, yeah, you're going to want to maintain, you're going to want to, you know, make sure that you stay up to date. Let me just remove these bolts quickly. Okay. So these thin cables here, you can really careful, you can route them behind the motherboard. Alrighty, very good. Oh shit, this bad boy's so heavy. Oh, that is a heavy power supply. But yeah, 1600 watt, what do you expect?
That's a nice fancy box.
Yeah, hell yeah. What's up?
Hey man, I sent you two bucks.
Oh, thanks man.
Thanks for the response. Shout out from Minnesota.
Ah, awesome man. I haven't been to Minnesota. I've just been to I've been to Cali, Nevada, Colorado, Florida, Pennsylvania, DC, Jersey, New York, Massachusetts. I've been to Canada. But yeah, I haven't really done any of the Midwest, so I got friends there, and family, so what's up?
Arcade Benchmaker says hello from Texas.
Hey man, how you going? Good to have you with us. Texas, another place I haven't got to yet. One SATA, no PCIe. Yeah.
Arcade Benchmaker says I have that same white AIO for an upcoming white silver build.
Ah, cool. Yeah, I mean it's quite a nice cooler. Like I was saying just before, I don't normally use that brand. This customer's provided all his own parts, so I don't normally. It's not that I don't like the brand or anything like that. It's just that it's not available in my state, so I have to get it shipped up here from Melbourne, and obviously that's a bit of a pain in the ass, right? So yeah, I don't usually use them, but I quite like this cooler. Everything about it I've liked so far. The mounting bracket was a little bit confusing, but that's just because I've never put one together before, and it was a little bit different to others. And so I guess the good thing about this is we don't need a lot of power cables. Because this power supply is already pretty deep, if you know what I mean, if you can see. And so yeah, with this we've just got a straight 600 watt cable directly from the power supply, 12+4 on the power supply end. Oh man, speaking of frickin' 12+4s, I don't normally bother with fucking shit like this, but someone posted a photo of their new build and they had a 5090, but they still had, I keep chucking it away but I keep referring back to it, they were using one of these, for their 5090, and I'm like, so you're gonna spend like 6,000 Aussie dollars or like 3 grand US on a graphics card, and you're not even gonna get like, not even gonna spend like an extra like a $100 to $200 US power supply to go with it, so it's up to date. And oh man, there was this one dude, he was so butthurt. He did not like what I was saying. He's like, no, you don't have to do that. These new power supplies cause fires and are unsafe. And I'm just like, no dude, what you're talking about is, at first, when they first came out, all of your super keen enthusiast types freaking got too keen and didn't plug in their fucking new cable correctly, and then it caused some fires. Well, not fires, but it caused the cable to fucking melt. But that's just because the cable wasn't installed correctly. The fuck? Yeah.
RK Benchmaker says I mostly do custom loops, but Arctic is my favourite AIO. You can't beat it for price performance.
Yeah, yeah. I can see that. That's pretty weird. Ah, there's special bolts for it. That's what I was thinking. I was trying to screw it in with standard hex bolts. Come on, I don't want to pull this shit out of the bag. That's better. Okay. How's that look? Yeah, it's looking alright. Yeah.
Amy wants to know how many pre-built PCs have you seen that were wired incorrectly?
Not too many. Not too many. Just depends who you get it from, but most companies that have a website and are selling pre-built gaming PCs, at least they're wired. They're set up correctly. Okay, they don't make those sort of mistakes. As to what the quality is of all the parts inside, that's a different story. Obviously with pre-builts, they're sort of constantly trying to make it as cheap as possible. Which way should we do it? I reckon this way. There's no fan on the back. Yep.
Okay, Benchmaker says, so consider the PSU as the most important part of the build?
Yeah, it's not, I wouldn't say it's the most important part of the build. It's important, but yeah, like, I would say that it is on par with your motherboard.
Yeah, I was just going to say you're going to have the right motherboard for what you want it
Yeah.
to do.
Some people, I mean, look, there are certain enthusiasts that are into like the best motherboard they can get, the best power supply they can get, or whatever. Everybody has their own little like pet thing that they think is best. Oh, I'm not sure if I like it around this way now. You can see too much of those cables for the fans. It is easy to swap around because none of these cables are frickin' directly wired. It's all wired up through the block, pre-done as well, so it makes things pretty easy. But yeah, getting a good power supply, you know, you got to get a good power supply, but you don't necessarily have to spend, you know, $8,000 on a power supply. I recommend getting something that has at least a 5-year manufacturer's warranty. If you want to be super sure, go on the website, go and look up Cybernetics power supply ranking, and then go and have a look at that. But the problem with that is that if you see which is the best power supplies, it's going to point you to all of the high efficiency platinum and titanium models. And you don't, in terms of getting a power supply that's going to last you and provide power to your PC, you don't really have to go that far. The 80 plus rating is the efficiency rating, not the quality rating. So you can get some really high quality 80 plus gold power supplies that have the same warranty on them that a titanium or platinum power supply would have, but it's not the same price. You know, it's a lot cheaper, but the quality is still there, and that's what you got to consider. You know, the average person in a Western country, the last thing that you're thinking about is how much power does my new gaming PC use, and how do I make my gaming PC use less power? That's not the kind of question that your average person in the West asks. So, just to give a bit of an idea there. Okay. Yeah, Noctura's fine, man. Very,
I'd
very.
love to do a Noctura PC in one of those wood panelled cases.
Oh yeah.
That would look pretty cool.
Yeah, you're not the only one who's interested in that.
Sage says that looks better with the fan cooler cables on the right.
Yeah. Houston, we have a problem.
What?
The USB-C header on the motherboard is too close to the bottom of the PCB for this 90-degree USB-C connector. I can't plug it in, I'll break the cable.
Oh.
Yeah, so unfortunately you're going to be without USB-C with this motherboard, which is a little bit of a pain. But you do have two USB 3s, so you could buy a USB-C female to USB 3 male cable, and then you can plug this cable in at the back there. But until then, you will not be featured in this build.
That's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate because customer freaking bought like an awesome motherboard. He did his research and he found something that's good. It had all the features and stuff, and I agreed with him that that was excellent, and you know, you didn't have to waste money on an X870 board just to get the features that you wanted. And if you're not an overclocker, then really not much point. Yeah.
Saf says I'm a competitive FPS player and wants to know your thoughts on these parts paired together. AMD Ryzen 7 7800X 3D with an AMD Radeon RX 7800 XT.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that.
He says I'll give my system my PC and build the AMD one instead.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with 7800X 3D. Don't be looking at the 9800X 3D and going, oh my god, that's going to be so much better, because it's really not that much better. Like, for real. The performance difference is negligible.
Paired with a Radeon RX 7800 XT.
Yeah. Yep, nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you get freaking some nice fast RAM to go with it. Make sure that it's compatible with the motherboard that you choose. You can check on the motherboard website. You can check and see. You can go and check all that out. There'll be a list there. It's called the what is it? The QVL list. You'll find it, but you want something that's like 6000 megahertz CL30, so fast megahertz 6000, low CAS latency, or 30. So that other number there where it says C something or CL something, that number should be as low as possible. The higher that number is, the slower your RAM is. So if you see C40, for example, that's really, really slow. C36 is getting a bit faster. C32 is a bit faster again. And yeah, C30 is like the best you'll get for that generation. At least right now. You can go faster than 6000. But it's not as stable. So right now the sweet spot is 6000 megahertz CL30, and You know, for example, I'm pretty sure that's what this kit of RAM is. Where do I put the box? It's on the floor somewhere. Okay, so we've got this bracket here. It says Dark Power Pro 13. It's got this little switch here and a little 3-pin cable. It says overclocking.
The customer's not an overclocker, so
No.
maybe just leave it in the box for them.
I guess I'll install it as long as it's not going to get in the way of frickin'.
You might want to wipe that down before you put it in. It's a bit dusty.
Yeah, I will. No, I can fit that. I can fit that on the. And yeah, once again, I'm just routing that thin cable there, just behind the motherboard. Perfectly fine to do that. Just make sure it's not getting stuck on anything. Without isopropyl alcohol, you can spray it directly on your motherboard. You can keep spraying it until it dissolves all the dust and crap in those hard to reach spots, and just keep doing it and let all the crap drip out the bottom, and then it'll dry within a couple of minutes and it's all completely fine. There's no water, there's no risk of any corrosion or anything like that. This stuff is specifically used for cleaning electronics. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey man, how you going? From Russia. From the motherland. Mother Russia. Who's that frickin' guy we listen to? The Russian guy? Russian underground?
Oh.
That's your thing, babe. You meant to know this.
Oh, it's XS Project.
XS Project.
There's a few. I guess that's the main one that main artist I listen to. Nick wants to know how's the flu situation over your way. How are you both feeling?
Better.
I've had bloody antibiotics and a course of steroids because I lost my voice. Ended up sounding like Morty from Rick and Morty.
Oh, jeez.
It was actually pretty funny.
Seriously? Side mount bracket is pissing me off. got it. Okay. Yeah.
Sash says, I've done extensive research, but I'm just an amateur and want advice from an actual PC builder. I want the most FPS and refresh rate for my budget because I can tell when I have high latency input and it sucks.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing. If it's price performance that you're after, it's really a game by game type situation. So what I would recommend you doing is go and pick your budget, and then pick 2 cards that are slightly under your budget and 2 cards that are slightly over your budget, and you know, run some comparisons between those cards and see if you can work out, based on what you're playing, which is the best price performance. But yeah, Radeon can typically give you some better price performance, but it does depend on the game that you're playing. These cables are a little bit shorter than I thought. Alrighty, so we've just got to daisy chain our fans here.
So since you mentioned the CL on RAM, I'm rethinking my RAM choice.
Yeah, definitely look at that, because it's not a great deal of difference in price between them. Okay, so here's the star of the show, the RTX 4090. Do we have something? Yeah.
I want an OLED 1440p 240 Hz monitor. Do you think that's the way to go for FPS gaming?
Yeah, absolutely. 240 is probably what you want. I wouldn't go any more than 240 because I guarantee your caveman eyes aren't going to be able to tell the difference.
Tim?
Yeah.
Okay, man. Sent me another $2. He wants
Oh,
to know
thanks.
What kind of beer do the real Aussies drink?
Okay, real Aussies. All right, there we go. We got something. So, I'm from a state called Queensland, and Queensland is basically the equivalent of Texas in America. So we have the most Australian accents, if that makes sense. But ironically, I personally don't drink the beer from my state. Babe, do you want to chuck us that can? I drink something called Victoria Bitter, which is probably the Probably the most popular beer in Australia out of the traditional Australian beers. Oh no. Oh no.
What'd you do?
No, not what did I do? I don't think this freaking cooler is gonna accommodate this side mount bar. Nah, we're screwed. No vertical mount. It's not gonna fit. Can't put the pipes anywhere else on the cooler because this bit here only goes on one way. Unless you want the thing upside down, I can swap it so it's upside down, or we get rid of the vertical mount and we just do a regular mount, which will still look pretty good anyway. But yeah, it's completely up to you, man. Like, I mean, I can try taking the bracket off, mounting the card and trying to just push it in place. That could work. Be a bit awkward and it'll be very tight, but we can at least try and do that. But yeah, I'm a little bit skeptical. Hang on. I think I can move this bracket down one notch, which will sort our lives out if successful. Haha. We just got there. Man, crisis averted, right? Fuck, man.
K-Man says Aussies are cool as fuck.
Yes, yes we are.
James says can't put the side cover on without the vertical mount. Those cards are a pain, so bloody big.
I know, dude. I know.
They're like bricks.
People, haters will hate me, man. But like, I think graphics cards are entirely too big these days. They're obnoxiously big. And it's all the coolers. Like, I mean, the PCB isn't getting any bigger. Even on this big, massive frickin' 4090 that we got here, the PCB's not any bigger. But the cooler is. I predict that we're going to start seeing more graphics cards with all-in-one liquid coolers attached to them. The problem is the design is kind of awkward, you know, getting the pipes in the right place for multiple different cases is a challenge. I think that's why companies have been a little bit slow to do that. But I mean, it's just a bit stupid to me that we need to bring in fucking graphics card support stands and shit. I mean, I was going to cut a bit of foam to have it sit under the vertical bracket, but now the vertical bracket's sitting directly on the base of the case, so don't need any freaking support anymore. It's sitting down the bottom. Yeah.
Someone wants to know, what do you think about the Ryzen 7 7800X 3D and RTX 5070 or 4070 together?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that combination.
If you can afford the 5070,
Yeah, if you can, if it's within your budget, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the problem is, you know, like 4070 Super and 4070 Ti were, you know, such good price to performance cards. Alrighty, so that is all done. So yeah, we could go and cable tile this together. I don't bother, just because if there's anything that needs to be changed, we want it to be user serviceable. We have all of this extra space at the back there, so we may as well frickin' use it.
Everyone says that PSU's thick. I like it.
Yeah, it's freaking huge, man. This is the Dark Power Pro 13 1600 watt 80 plus titanium power supply. Man, the power supply is worth more than some computers. Alrighty, cool. So we've got our little switch there at the back. Not fully sure what that's for. Don't think it's really gonna have to be used at all, but it came with it, so we'll hook it up. Awesome. What's the time? Yep. So we have to use a special power cable for these big power supplies. It's a thicker gauge cable to allow for higher currents. Alrighty, power on. There we go. All our fans on. Yep. Pump's working. Yeah.
So once I noticed having a 49-inch ultra wide for a task monitor is ridiculous.
Not if you don't think so.
The red fine nice place is no reverse blade fans.
No reverse blade fans, but that's okay. We got them wired up good. We don't see any spindly cables at the front. I've got the cables sticking directly out the back.
That looks sick. Yeah, leave it there. Yeah. What'd be nice is if you had some of these bad boys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So you can actually buy RGB like sleeves for your AIO pipes. They're a little bit awkward to muck around with, but you can get them looking good. Alrighty. Oh, new MSI interface.
Darren says hi from the UK.
Hey Darren, how you going? Good to have you with us. Am I just being... Ah, here we go. Oh no, BIOS log. Here we go, M-Flash.
Red Fire says maybe Lian Li V2 fans would also look good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you can afford the Lian Li fans, yeah, definitely. They're excellent. So yeah, we'll just do a BIOS update on this one quickly. It's a relatively new board, so they've always generally got lots of BIOS updates. And then yeah, this customer's local, so if everything's all good, he can come pick it up tonight. He's been waiting a little while, so.
Red Fire says, yeah, the Lian Li fans are crazy expensive for what they are.
Yeah. I'm not getting any signal to my screen. Can you check the cables?
It's nothing saying that to. What, on my computer? Or?
Yeah. And the back of the monitor. Nothing?
Mm-mm.
The fuck?
Maybe it doesn't like that glass. I can't see it.
That's what I was concerned about. These things can be a bit of a pain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
ABC wants to know, do you have any suggestions of a good GPU and CPU combination that will maintain 240 Hz when I start?
Maintain 240 hertz. FPS, but look, if you want 240 FPS, absolute max settings and stuff, if you want the closest possible to that, you buy a 5090, okay? But if everybody else, when you're playing games, you adjust the quality settings to fine tune it to your hardware so you get the frame rate you want, consistency that you want out of the hardware that you've got. If you want the absolute best experience, you've got to spend absolute biggest bucks. Okay, so
It's like buying a road train and asking how much fuel it takes.
yeah, pretty much actually. Yeah, because hertz is not frames per second. Hertz is the refresh rate of the monitor, which kind of sounds like frames per second, but it's completely different. It's just what the screen is capable of showing. So if you got a 240 hertz screen and your game's running at 300 frames per second, the monitor is skipping one out of 5 frames, I should say. So you know, you got your monitor's 240 and you got 300. 60 times 5 is 300. 300 minus 60 is 240. So yeah, your screen will skip 1 out of 5 frames if it's running at 300 FPS for the graphics card, and the monitor can only do 240. So yeah, like I said, when you're playing a game, you can adjust the graphics settings and fine tune it to your hardware. So I'm not sure why this isn't freaking working, because it posted once and now it's not wanting to do it again. So look, I'm gonna remove.
Jesus Christ, Tim.
No, it's okay. I'll be buying a new case, I think. Yeah, you don't. Well, you don't need one.
Probably the only 4080 that the customer could get at the time.
Yeah, well, you got to pay the white tax, right? Okay, so because it's not posting properly, we're going to assume it's a motherboard related problem to do with the freaking vertical mount cable, which is common. Okay. Thanks to the 90-degree cable, you can fit it in your case without the vertical mount.
It's just James's original GPU. We didn't want to. The cheapest white 5090 was 5400.
Yep.
He says he didn't see a point to upgrade 4090 just yet.
Hell no. Hell no. Skip 50 series for sure.
James says if the pricing of next gen GPUs aren't crazy priced, I might look at a white card then, maybe.
Yeah. Don't hold your breath. Nvidia are greedy and they don't really care about gamers. They're more focused on AI. and then 50 series gaming cards, just a cash grab. It's annoying because it posted originally, went to do the BIOS update, then it wouldn't turn on again. Let's give it a second because I've cleared CMOS, so it's been reset, so it's got to post for the first time now. Okay, alright, so now we've posted, so we're going to do the, we'll do the BIOS update, then we'll just go and get everything else installed, and then, yeah, we can have another play around with that bracket. But like I said, it's not essential anymore, because the 90-degree cable there allows you to put the glass back on now. So he said that he got that because he couldn't close the glass. So
Sweet. Allie and Triss are gonna come. Yeah.
Sweet.
Munchie's probably coming too.
Yes.
She's got to work in the morning, but she said she'll probably be right.
Yep.
James says if you don't need to use the vertical mount, don't bother with it.
Yeah, no, we don't need it.
Is it like working yet?
It's just not liking going into BIOS, is it? Like my screen, my mouse and my keyboard's lit up. It's really weird. We're not showing any error on the motherboard at all. Okay, I've had enough of that. Alrighty. So we're swapping over to my super powerhouse graphics card, GT710. You might go, why you got a GT710? Well, the reason is it's very compatible. It works on basically anything. So if ever I have random weird graphics card related issues, compatibility issues, and can't get things going, I crack out the trusty GT710 and we go and try to do it with that. Alright, let's try this again for like the third time. What's the bet that this board's sitting on version 1.0?
Probably.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, it's doing something now.
Yeah.
Into flash mode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look at that.
Oh, fucking hell, that scared the crap out of me.
Version A10. It's literally the freaking first BIOS for this board. It looks like this is the third BIOS for this board. So yeah, we'll go and update that. Ugh. So yeah, something like this can be a real headache if you're building it on your own and you don't have like spare graphics cards and stuff sitting around. I mean, you could spend hours fucking around with it. Like, people come to me with their problems after they have gone and wasted hours mucking around with it. They bring it to me and then in 20 minutes I've worked it out and I've bypassed the problem and all that. And that's what you pay for. I mean, I don't charge too much, I don't think, for what I do. And yeah, time is money, as they say. How much time do you really want to spend on the problem? It was like that other time we had a quite recently we had a system. We were doing a BIOS update, and during the BIOS update, the CPU died. It died. It gave up the ghost. No more CPU. No more motherboard, because it died during a BIOS update.
That's an expensive fail.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! But fortunately, I was able to get a full replacement on both those parts. So that was fine.
Tim?
Yeah.
Okay, man, what's any thoughts on EFT?
EFT. What do you mean by EFT? What acronym are you referring to exactly? So I have something in my head that I call EFT, but I'm not sure if it's what you're talking about.
Okay, wants to know what PS2 is. PC got.
It's got a Dark Power Pro 13 from Be Quiet. It's the top of the line 1600 watt titanium efficiency unit. So top of the line.
Oh, Escape from Tarkov game.
Ah, okay.
To be honest, I've never heard of it.
Escape from Tarkov. Oh, it's a very popular game.
Oh yeah, I see. It's another like military
Yeah.
role playing thing.
And what was the question about it?
Oh, what's your thoughts on it?
What's my thoughts on it? Yeah, it's a popular game, man. Lots of people play. I haven't played it before, but yeah, lots of people are really into that particular title. So I would assume it's pretty decent. It looks good from like the clips and stuff that I've seen of it.
Tim?
Yeah.
David says, do you update BIOS and newest every time, or if it works, great, don't change it? I'm that second guy.
Yeah, I mean, as a general rule for most people at home building their own PCs and stuff like that, don't even muck around with it unless you have to. I always do it, but that's because I'm doing it from a business perspective, and I got to try to do it because if I ship out a PC to a customer and it needs a BIOS update, it could have all sorts of problems, and then they call me up, and then I've got to spend time dealing with their issue and stuff like that. So I've got to make sure I do everything I can to make sure that there won't be any issues when the customer gets it. So for me, I've kind of got to do that. Okay, so enable our expo there. Save and exit. Yeah.
He played at Ozzy Osbourne's final gig.
Oh, really?
Mm. Can't believe Ozzy Osbourne can actually stand up and do a gig still.
Mhm.
Oh.
Oh, he loves it though.
Yeah, I know he loves it.
He absolutely loves it.
old.
Yeah, he's probably like my parents' age.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say so.
Yeah, about that. Okay. So this shouldn't take too long because we got a 9950X3D in here, which is a 16 core 32 thread CPU. Plenty of cores. Alright, so once this is done and we restart, we'll swap out the GT710 back for our 4090 and we'll continue the install process.
Just gave the dog those sausages.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
She'll eat them.
Yeah, she is. She sniffed it first and then like looked at me like, are you serious? Are you giving me all this? It's a bit cool to have outside. Instead of Peterson, the family. I mean, the office.
Yeah.
Well, prices started about 300.
Hopefully you've still got your white blanking panels.
Fuck, he looks like my uncle.
Oh, chemicals.
I swear he's not my cousin.
Just think he's doing what he's doing for the wrong reasons.
I know. I'm ashamed.
Okay.
What's that company called again? To install this?
Oh, Zalman products. Yeah, we're really close to going live with the Tim's PC store. I've still got some little technical things to iron out. So if you want to do an offline installation in Windows 11, just key in exactly what I just did then. To make the command prompt dialog box open up, just hit Shift F10. And yeah, it's start ms-cxh local only. External cooling tower, yeah.
All that fucking gadouge. Bloody hell.
Okay.
Some sausages. Ooh. Lucky dog.
So I need the graphics drivers. I can get it cheaper than that. Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry, I can get it. It's like a lot cheaper. Okay.
Bristol's live again.
Oh yeah.
Brisk. Look at all these charging cords is 34,000 follow.
Yeah.
It's like 33,277 now.
Plug the freaking cable in. There's our graphics driver. Where are we?
So we're not doing the side mounting bracket?
Nah. Nah, it's just causing issues. I mean, we can try it again if it really wants, but. Alrighty. Cinebench here. So MSI Afterburner didn't install properly. I'll reinstall that. set this up and let's run some gaming benchmarks. GPU 2. Alrighty, so let's run Heaven here on high, no anti-aliasing. Alright, so stuff on the screen here, GPU 2, that's our graphics card. It's got our temperature, usage, clock speed and wattage. MEM 2, that's our VRAM, usage and clock speed. CPU there, that's just our CPU usage. RAM, that's our RAM usage, and that number there below RAM is how many frames per second it's currently running at. Sorry about that interruption. Look at that frame rate. This is an easy benchmark, but still, it's freaking high. Can we crack 1,000? I don't think I've seen it go below 500. there's one point right towards the end where the frames per second peaks for this benchmark. It's coming up soon.
It cost
No, it's
9.7.
about to peak. Keep watching. $9.75. Oh,
It's fucking close.
that was very close.
Tim,
Yeah.
James says lol GPU fans haven't turned on yet.
No, they are. Yeah, they are on. Alrighty, let's run Valley Ultra Max Anti-Aliasing. If you don't know, Valley's more demanding than Heaven, so the frames per second will be lower. Yeah, or you can set that up manually in MSI Afterburner to be, you know, to work at whatever temperature. But the fans are spinning. Yeah.
I kind of want to get one of these for Dad. The sniper nose. He'd love that.
Yeah, I think he would.
He's an old school gunman.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be a sniper in the Navy.
Yep. Alright, so that was Valley there on Ultra with max anti-aliasing. And we'll do superposition here at 4K. How's everything else going? So this one's 4K, just for reference. The other two are 1080p. Oh,
She's
cool.
released an album through her own record.
Sweet.
Some people don't like Kesha, but I do. She's a pop star.
Okay. My internet seems slower than normal tonight.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Upload's okay, download's really slow. Oh, hard hardware monitor's not installed. Oh, where's Firma? Series? I swear I selected both of these. Alright. So 90-minute test. Alright, it should be nice and toasty there on the CPU. Oh yeah, it's actually very well behaved straight out of the box. Look at that. 9800X 3D's less well behaved than that. That'll get straight to 90 under this sort of load. Happy days. Alright. Well look, I won't bore everyone with the rest of this test because, yeah, I mean, all we're doing right now is waiting for Windows updates to download, driver updates to download, and the stress test to complete. So, I think that's where we'll leave it for tonight. We got through everything. A few little bugs in the system. Motherboard not liking to play around with that Ryzen cable. Feel free to have a play around with that yourself. Like if you want to install it, there's just enough room to put it right down the bottom. But yeah, you don't need it. I've put a little support bolt in there for your graphics card, so it's not going to sag or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, it will be completely fine the way that it is. I've already got a grey one for him. Give him the white one, she says. Okay.
I'm not using it. I don't need it for a 3060. I think it's a little bit dirty though. Just I don't need a wipe. You right?
Yeah, my thumb.
Oh, from the splinter that you got.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Alrighty, well, I think that's where we'll leave it. Let's see the little thing down there. But yeah, Happy days. Sweet as. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all in the next video.